up, what does that mean, Briley?
So whenever you line you have to line your decimals up, and then the decimal should be in the same place in your answer, because you should put it.
Okay, so you line up the decimal points. So line them up means line up the decimal points. So if I'm taking 8.25, I'm going to do plus 42.8. I have to line up the decimal points. Who knows why? Why do I have to do that? That's the rule. And that's all that the video talked about. It tells me what to do. It tells me to add in zeros to make them have the same number of digits. Then show my work to add. Okay, so my answer should be 5105, but why do I have to line up the decimal points, Cam?
Because you need the same amount of places.
But why?
So you could add or subtract.
You're right, but that's not what I'm looking for. I want to know the reasoning. Livy?
So when you line up the value, it's the same?
Yeah, if I really the rule for adding and subtracting decimals is you have to line up the ones with the ones, the tenths with the tenths, the hundredths with the hundredths, the tens with the tens. But instead of saying lining up all of the places with the like places, if I just line up the decimal points, does everything else just fall into the right spot? Yes, because the decimal point on every single number falls between the ones and the tenths place. So if I just line up my decimal points, it lines up all of my places also. So like these are both in the hundredths place. These are both in the tenths place. These are both in the ones, and then that one is in the tens. So by lining up the decimal points, it lines up our places so that we can add the correct places together. Yes? I don't know. Would it be in your locker or your backpack? I don't know. You can go check. Okay, so let's go over last night's homework quickly. Raise your hand if you felt like it was pretty easy. Okay? On the front side, I'll start talking before this goes. You guys had G, H, and I. On G for the estimate. Nolan, what did you round those two numbers to?
4 and 1.
Okay, so you should have had 4. Is it plus or minus?
Plus. No.
What's 4 plus 1?
5.
5. So you should have 4 plus 1 equals 5. On the back, we did those. On the front, we did the first two. Hold on, I'm trying to get my paper up. Okay, when you found the actual, it should be close to 5. Logan, what did you get? For the actual answer for G.
5.121.
Okay, 5.121 or 5 and 121 thousandths. Good job. For H, Cooper, what did you round that problem to?
33 plus 7.
Okay, 33 plus 7 is what? 40. Good job. So our answer when we find our actual, it should be close to 40. Chase, what did you get? Actual for H.
39.26.
39.26. Do you guys agree? Okay, is that close to 40?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so is that a reasonable answer? Yes, okay. Now we're all the way down to the bottom. Ashley is training for the Olympics and each lap of a 4-lap race in the following times. Oh, that should say and ran each lap. There's a missing. What?
It's swimming.
What'd you say?
It's swimming.
Oh, swam. This should say swam in there. You guys probably still figured it out, but it's missing a word. And swam each lap of the 4-lap race in the following times. There's the times. What is the total time it takes her to swim the 4 laps? Emmett, what do I need to do here?
You're going to add 54.73.
Okay.
54.56, 54.32, and 54.54.
Okay, now in the world of adding decimals, even though I have 4 of them here, 1, I suggest lining all 4 of them up and adding once. Instead of adding 2, getting a total, throwing in another one, getting a total, throwing in the 4th one, getting a total. Okay? You just have less errors typically when you do it all in one problem. Why in the world of decimals is this not a terrible, terrible problem? Paxton?
Because before the decimal there's only 54s.
Okay, so I agree, they're all 54s. What else makes this an easier decimal problem, Cam?
You don't have to add zeros.
Yeah, they already have the same number of decimal places. So really, when I line up my decimal points, I'm ready to add. If this were me, I'd do that first. What's 6 plus 4? plus 5?
15.
5, regroup. I would group the 7 with the 3, the 5 with the 5. 20 plus 1 is 21. 4 times 4 is 16 plus 2 is 18. 20 is my answer, 21,815. No. Now, I will hear, and I'm going to keep saying this so I won't hear it. I will hear lots and lots of times, oh, I just forgot the decimal point. That is wrong. Because if I owed Addie, I'm just going to write this number. And this number. If I owed Addie this much money, and I gave her this much money, and I said, oh, I just added in a decimal point, it's no big deal. Is it a big deal?
Yes.
Yes. That teeny tiny decimal point makes a huge difference on the what? On the value. And it doesn't matter if it's just money. On any decimal number, that teeny tiny decimal point makes a huge difference on the value of the number. So if you leave out your decimal point in your answer, is your answer correct? No, it's an easy fix usually, okay, but it's not correct. So if you just leave out your decimal point, you're going to lose points, okay? Now, I'm going to pick on my own child in 4th grade because they're doing some decimal problems now, and she writes just like her father, a little bit messy, okay? And if she was writing that number, she'd write, okay, when you're making decimal points, especially with a pencil, on my board it's going to pick it up a little bit better. But when you're making it with a pencil, you almost have to be intentional with it. If you just write 21.81, a lot of times you can't see that speck. Okay, so be intentional with your decimal points. Slow down, darken it in your answer. Okay, to where I can see it, your neighbor can see it, your other neighbor can see it. Okay, don't say, oh, there's a decimal point right there. I'll be like, I don't see one. Okay, so be intentional with your decimal points. On the back side, flip it to the back. What should have my label been for that one? Sorry.
What?
Seconds, yes, seconds. On the back, you had K and L. For K, Livy, what did you round this to? Okay, 42 minus 2 is 40. When you got your actual, Kinley, what did you get?
40.76.
40.76. Do you guys agree or disagree?
I agree.
Agree, okay. 40.76. I'll give you guys the time to rework these in just a sec if you missed some. Next one, L. Emmett, what did you round it to?
I rounded it to 8.
Okay. 8 minus 7 is what, Emmett? 1. Reese, what was your actual answer for this one? 1.48. Do you guys agree? Okay. Again, if you missed it, you'll have a second to rework it in a minute. And then we went to the word problems, right? We did M together. Okay. Going on to N. Robert uses his GPS to determine he hikes 21 and 48 miles on Tuesday and 30 miles on Wednesday. How many fewer miles does he hike on Tuesday than Wednesday? Jack, what math problem do I need to solve?
21 and 4800
No.
No. 30 minus.
Okay, why do you have to flip it?
Because 30 is bigger than 21.48.
Yes, and 21 minus 30 is, it's not that we can't do it, it's that we can't do it yet. You haven't learned it. 21 minus 30 is what kind of number, Sophia?
Huh?
21 minus 30. What kind of answer would we get?
We get a
What kind of number do we call it?
I forget.
Wah, wah. Chase? A negative number, okay? So we don't know negatives yet. So yes, you have to do big minus small right now. And it's because it wants Tuesday than Wednesday. Wednesday is higher, so we have to take Wednesday minus Tuesday. This is a commonly missed problem even in the 5th grade. I'm going to work this 2 different ways. I'm going to work it how I see most of you work it, and I'm going to work it how I suggest you start doing regrouping. Okay? This is such a big problem. I've actually gone down to the primary wing and asked them to stop doing it the way they're doing it. And I know why they're doing it, because the book puts boxes and stuff. But I see lots of errors because you guys get going too fast and don't pay attention to what you're doing. I'm going to work it the way most of you guys probably have it first, and then I'm going to work it the way I suggest you do it. If you're getting these right all the time, you're fine. If you're missing these because you're making goofy mistakes, I suggest change your habits to the new way, okay? So what I see a lot, and again, it's because the book puts boxes. When you're regrouping, when you're first learning, it puts boxes above your numbers. So what I see on a lot of your guys' papers is I see this, that's a 2, so that's a 10. Then I see an X and a 9 and an X and a 10 and an X and a 9 and an X, and that should be a 10. But a lot of people that miss these make that one a 9 also. And then from there, they start doing their math. Raise your hand if your paper looks like that. It's okay. That's how you were taught. I'm just trying to reteach your brain. Nobody has all those X's on top? Okay. And again, that's how you guys were taught. That's fine. I'm not saying it's wrong. I'm just saying for some reason that messes with your brain and you make goofy mistakes. If I were solving this problem, my work would be a lot simpler. Okay, so it leaves less room to mess up. So I have nothing, I have nothing, I have nothing. So I go all the way over to where I have something. When I borrow 10, 110, I regroup it to make 10 ones, right? So I just put a 1 right there. So now I see I have 10 minus 1. But am I done regrouping? Nope. So I have to regroup 1 from there. So now I have 9 ones, and I take 1 1 and take it over to make 10 1/10ths. But I still have to regroup 1 more time, mark it out, 9, 10. Okay, do you see the difference? One, there's a lot less markings and stuff. But a lot of you, if you miss any of these on regrouping, if I had to guess, it's because instead of making that a 10, you make it a 9. Why would you make it a 10 or a 9 instead of a 10, Briley?
Because all the other ones are not a 9, and you figured that you have to do that.
Yeah. Why are all of the other ones a 9 and not a 10? Jack?
All of them are zeros, but then the one on the very right, they can't regroup to any other thing. So
Yeah. It's because it was a 10, but you had to regroup and steal 1. Okay? And borrow it over to this way, to the next one. Again, both of them are correct. It's just for some reason, this one tends to cause you more trouble. Okay, and the book when you first start learning it in 2nd grade, because I have a 2nd grader, I've seen her book, they put boxes above here. They teach you to X it out completely and write 10 in the box. And when you're solving these, they just have a bunch of boxes, and your brain has been taught that when you see empty boxes, you fill them with numbers. Yes?
Will there be anything like you mark it out making a 10, and then mark it out making a 9, and then mark it out making 8?
No. Nope. Okay, so again, either way you work it, you should have got $8 or not. What's our miles? 8.52 miles. Oh, was this a 1-step problem or a 2-step problem? 2. Reese, what did we have to do first? Okay, and when you did that, what did you get?
25.15.
Okay, so if you got to 25.15 and stopped, Chase, you're not done. That is the total that I spent. But Kinley, if I paid with a $50 bill, how can I figure out how much change I will get?
50 subtract 25.15.
So for that one, if you did your subtraction correctly, you should have gotten 24.85. Last one. 1 scoop of ice cream cost 37 cents and I bought 3 scoops. Jalen, how did you figure out the cost I spent on ice cream?
So, since he got 3 scoops,
Mm-hmm.
I took 37 and like in the decimal place, added up 3 times.
Okay. And what did you get when you added those all together?
$1.11.
Okay, and if you stopped at $1.11, did you finish the problem? No, Callan, what did I have to do next?
Minus $2.
111 minus $2?
$2 minus $1.
There you go. $2 minus 111. So we should have gotten what?
89 cents.
89 cents. Now, here's something, and this is new. We don't write 89, when we're working with decimals, we don't write that. Okay? And we don't write this. What that number says is it's 89 hundredths cents, which means if you have 1 penny and you split it into 100 equal parts, you have 89 little pieces of penny. Okay? Is that what we mean? No. So when we see this, we say 89 cents because our brain understands money, but really this is 89 hundredths of a dollar, or 89 hundredths dollars. So our cent sign, not that this is any different, but when we're working with decimals, we give our answer in decimal form. Okay? I want you to, if you missed any, take a second and rework them. If you did not miss any, I want you to open your book to page 337 and get out a piece of loose leaf. On page 337, I want you on your loose leaf first. Title your loose leaf, page 337. I am aware. You are on page 337. I'm not there yet. You're listening. On page 337, I want you on your loose leaf to work problems 11, 12, and 13. 11, 12, and 13. I will write these up. I'll circle them as soon as I get to the right page. 11, 12, and 13.
I don't have a pencil.
You're going to have to wait just a sec. Okay, so you're working 11, 12, and 13. 11, 12, and 13. Once you have worked them, check them. Once you have worked them, check them. Yeah. I'm just checking something. After you work those 3 and check them, I want you to flip to page 363. And do the same 3 problems. Again, if you need help, raise your hand and I can come help you. And again, if you miss some, it'll probably be on page 363 when you have to regroup a little bit. I'll change the answers to 363s in just a second. Yeah, do it on the same answers. That's fine. Okay, all 6 answers are up here. The ones in the background, these ones are page 337. These ones right here are page 363. Okay, work all 6. Check them. If you missed them, what do I want?
On here it's 12, 13, 14.
But I told you to do problems 11, 12, 13. 11's a little bit higher, but you're doing 11, 12, 13 on both pages. Okay? Once you have worked them, checked them, fixed them if necessary, I want you to clear off your desk. If you need help or get stuck, raise your hand and I can come help you. So you're working those 6, checking those 6, fixing them if needed, and if you need my help, raise your hand. Put it away. When you get all 6 done and they're correct, you don't have questions, you can clear off your desk. I'm going to have Naomi pass out a worksheet. Just leave it sit. If you put anything on it, just put your name. still need these answers up here. Okay, on the piece of paper in front of you, first flip it to the front side, and again, write your name on the front. Write your name on the front. The first 4 problems, right above problem number 1, it says use this number for 1 through 4. What number is it referring to, Callan?
786,234,912,523.
Yes, that number up there at the top. The long, ugly number right there. Okay? So for numbers 1, 2, 3, and 4, you are rounding that same number 4 different ways. Okay? You're rounding it to those different places. Now, the directions for 5 through 8 say estimate and find the actual. When we estimate, what do we round the numbers to? Briley? To the nearest whole number, to the nearest ones place. But it wants an estimate and an actual. There's 2 boxes, I just didn't label them. So on the side, I want you to write estimate. So in these top boxes right here, those will all be your estimates. What do you think we're going to write next to the bottom box? Actual. Okay, so that bottom box is where you will get your actual answers, where you will line them up. Are you paying attention? No, you're working. We're adding stuff to the side here. Then go down to boxes 9 through 12. What do you think you're going to write outside of them?
Estimate and actual.
Estimate and actual. Oh, see, there's my rounded. Did that show up on yours?
No.
Okay, I had this, I thought, out to the side, but the formatting got all messed up. Okay, so again, on next to number 9, out here you'll write estimate and actual. Okay, then flip it to the back once you have those written. On the back, the hardest part is figuring out what it's wanting. 13 and 14 are just regular old word problems. Mine looks kind of crazy. Yours are lettered. Yours are lettered out next to them. Okay, so I'm just going to label the first few. So on the first question, it says Kelly ordered a classic B sandwich. Which one, what is the price, do you think, of a classic B sandwich? Stella?
$3.89.
Yes, okay, so pay attention. And then she also bought side C. What do you think side C is? Paxton? Yours is labeled, mine is not. How much is it? $1.69. Okay? So read carefully to figure out what you're purchasing. Okay? Go ahead and get started on your worksheet.